What's going on, family? It's your man Renazance. As I said, we were going to do it live stream coming at you. Just want to come with a different flow, different time, man. It's about growth now, and this is a brand new year. So we've already got some to the months of springtime, and now, Easter suits and spring breaks and so on and so forth. And I was thinking, like, okay, this is when the freshness comes out of us. And I'm like, all right, I got something for that. And I was thinking about what would be a good place to start from. And it was like everything that we do has to give us a step towards the next movement in our lives. And we know we all have some goals. I don't know what your goals are. What kind of goals do you have set? Do you have any? Did you write them down or do you have them? Well, if you have goals set, then you have a step towards a destiny or a movement. You have some type of purpose to move towards. And see, this is more or less about us getting our personal spiritual steps in place and how to set up success. I mean, we all want to succeed, do we not? There's never a time where you go to an interview that you don't want the job, or a time where you go to apply for a loan and you don't want to get a yes, or whatever it is, you want to succeed. So my whole method is, what do we do to set up success? And I'll tell you, you have to do what I learned on this basketball camp I was going with, and this guy kept saying the 6 P's, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And the 6 P's are prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. And I was like, "Okay, I got the point of what he was going at," and then I started using it in the classroom, and I started figuring out that students were then now preparing better for what was upcoming. And I liked it. So I was like, okay, that's the flow. And then we started using it in other areas of our lives. And as a coach, I would always have a certain time frame that we would do certain types of activities. And those activities were to build up for what was going to be the long end haul. And before I get too deep into that, I'm going to get into the book, because the Flow-ology mastery class is about using the notes and the things that we have at our disposal. Yes, this piece of material that I was able to write and was able to give life to, and I like to share with you in our mastery class as we set up success. All right. Now is the time for the setup. You can design a strategy for success that may only work for you, because no one else has your individualized DNA. You know, I just got to pause. I wasn't, but there's no one else like you or me. We each have our own thing. And what I've seen is a lot of us will hear what is popular, and then we may try to assimilate or get something like that or do something like that in our own way, individual, but you're still doing what the masses are doing. And I'm wondering, is that really a setup for success, or is that you following what someone's told you is successful? Some things they share can lead to success, but there's going to be some steps involved. Coach helped me with this particular quote. He would say, the process equals success. Simple. What you are willing to go through will help you flow through your daily activities. And as I get back into the text, there was a point where it said this theory of the individualized DNA is going to be based on trial and error, to which you are no longer afraid. If you're here and you're watching this tape or this recording, and you have the opportunity to say, you know what, I am here. I didn't do everything right, and I didn't make the decision. And mom said this, and B said this, and I didn't get this, and by this age I didn't do this. Whatever it is that you think you might have failed on or you didn't succeed, the fact that you're still here means you have some level of success. Do you get that? First thing you need to get in this first Flow-ology masterclass, you already have succeeded. You just need to use that versus the defeats. Okay, understand? It's like we can focus on the times we lost, but let's focus on the time that we won. Focus on the time that we gained. Then you're setting yourself up for success. Not saying you don't acknowledge what happened. All right, let's be real. But at the same time, you get an opportunity to say, I made it from that part. I think I can make it a step further. And that's what this whole particular text is about, going to the next step. And as I get back into the text, I was talking about driving. Think about the steps of driving you must do that specific functions to cause the engine to fire. Yes, there are other shortcut methods, but you will not get the full capability of the vehicle. When you make up your mind to succeed, you must have the right energy behind your project and set up success. What are you using as your study part? Because this is part where with the master class, what are you doing outside of what every preacher and every other person is telling you? What are you doing for yourself? Do you read a verse and do you meditate on it? Do you even meditate? Family, if you don't, I mean, you hear so many people now who are using the woke mentality, and everybody's talking about meditation. Meditation is prayer. Yeah, it is. But you have to be willing to try it and see what happens. And if you are willing to meditate, then you start to build up other strengths inside of this mental facility that you have. This place where healing comes from, this place where answers come from, this place where movement, everything that you need comes from your thinking. I'm going to reiterate this throughout the rest of this mastery class because in all that I've read, in all that I've studied, and from listening to other great teachers along the way, it all boils down to one thing: how we use our mind. Family, do you use yours? Or is it just something you put on the shelf and you pull out when it's necessary? Or are you setting up success? As we get back to the text, think about this. When I begin a school year, I have an end goal in mind. We start with Latin root words to SAT vocabulary that they mastered in 180 days, and they really did. They had fun doing it. This skill made reading easier, tests were more comprehensive, and writing skills blossomed. It is a foundational skill to clear communication that must not be assumed to exist. Let me just pause for a few minutes and just let you know when I understand what it was that I was teaching. When I studied that, it was the art of language. And I said the art of language. And as a new teacher, I was reading everything I could to try to get some type of foundational for the teachers and the students I'd be working with. Well, it came up with this thing that the art of language had four components: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Yeah. And when I realized that, then I learned how to maneuver throughout a school year to get students to be able to do things. And I'll share with you, we worked on, I think it was Bloom's taxonomy. If you know about that, we were critical, analytical thinkers all year long. That was my goal. I didn't tell them what I was doing because if I did, then they may not have tried to push themselves further. And they found success, I promise you, in an English classroom. Can you imagine seeing a roster where you have 29 students and 18 of them have A's or B's, 11 of them have C's? Come on, family. Is they found steps to success through language, through those simple things. And I'm saying if you have these skills that you already have innate within you, you already succeeded. So why don't we keep going further? If you already have the ability to think of how to come up with solutions at your job, therefore you're now a conflict resolution person. If you know how to deal with money and finances in a way, you are a financial advisor to us. See, that's where we got to get to the setup for. It's not just about us, it's we set up ourselves for success and it helps up others for their success. Now, as I proceed and begin to wind down, because the way that this was done is through something that really helps us master any skill you want to do: repetition. We repeated this process of the language things all year long in all different forms and ways. So the art of language became an art that they mastered. And when they mastered it, it helped them understand science. It helped them understand social studies, history. It helped them understand even their music notes. So family, what I'm saying is when you set up success, it's a step-by-step movement, but you have to believe that each step matters. That's what today's show is about. Everything you do matters. Nothing is inconsequential. And as we wind down, see, what I would like to say is you have to decide what you want in life that fits your design, your personality. That's that individualized DNA we talked about. Has to be about you. So find out that and say, actually get old school. Write it down on paper. Yeah, that's why I keep this around me. It's like they say it's old nostalgia, but I'm like, it's so when I look at it, I can think about the moment, the experience, what I was thinking, what I was going through, and what goal I wanted to accomplish. So setting up success is not a kind of a casual move. It's kind of an intentional step. And I'm telling you, family, if you do it, you'll start to see the flow of the day. It's like things will happen, but they won't move you to the left or the right. You'll have a keen balance about it, and you won't let it affect you because you are affected by what you are doing to set up success so that others may benefit. Then you go to the next step. Whatever you need to do not rush the process. If you follow the steps, they will revolve, gaining momentum. That's it, that RPM, revolutions per moment, equals revelations per minute. So when you keep going and you see that by doing this, you set up this level of success, now you can move to the next level. And the people that are with you, they'll watch and they'll begin to ask questions and you can share. This is how we set up success. And it says we can all win when we do this. Now, as I bring this show to a close, I keep thinking about the setting up success. And in order for you to let your light shine, all right, you got to be willing to go through the darkness. And as I was watching some videos, I see people talking and sharing about others who are woke in the things that are happening now with ours inside of society, things we can't control. And I'm saying, family, it's let it rock. It's our time. These things must come to pass in order for the dark, out of the darkness comes the light. That epiphany hit me this week, I said I'll share it with you. And being an African American coach, I had this high school team, and it was my first year coaching high school boys ever. And we had a pretty good team, and we were winning most of our games, nice margin. But I didn't want to. There was no ego about it. It was just like I wanted to go in, handle our business, and keep going and see where we could go if we could win a championship. Long story short, we went to a small part in South Carolina. And, it looked already like it was suspect, but so what? We had a game to play and we won. Well, they had to come back to our gym. They came back to our gym. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to show them respect. We're not going to try to smash them. We're going to just kind of move the ball around. 5 passes, we score. All right, we start the game off. We rock it. 5 passes. Man, on pass number 3, they start tackling our players. I mean, like, literally, boom. I'm like, okay. And there was a foul call or anything. So I'm thinking, I'm at home, something's wrong. And I know we can beat this team. They know we can beat them. We've already showed them and everybody else what's going on now. But my guys had a mentality that no matter what was in front of us, there was one goal we had to accomplish. And that was to defeat whoever the enemy was in front of us, regardless of how they felt. So I called a timeout because the referees weren't helping me out real quick. And I was like, this is what we're going to do. And I came with a game plan. And they executed the game plan to a T. They still tried to foul us, but by the end of the game, the score was, for the first time ever on that scoreboard, 101 points. And the other team, 31. Now, I didn't mean to do that. But when other people try to stop our success and we know we're ready to succeed, you cannot get in the way. And if you do, we still execute. That's what setting up success is about. Day by day, moment by moment, execute. One step at a time, one flow at a time, praise and love all the time. I thank you. This is like been a live feed. This is the first time ever. I think you can feel the energy. I love it. We're going to get back to more. And this year, this moment, now it's about to jump off, family. I promise you. We've got so many things coming your way this year. the rest of this year, we're going to take off. They trying to stop us. They trying to do everything. They will not win. Have a beautiful evening, rest of your day. Enjoy yourself. Love life. Peace.